It had been a week since the lockdown ended. Chris's company, known for treating its employees well, had announced that everyone could continue working from home for another month. At first, Chris thought, great, more time at home, less commuting. But now, he was over it. 3 months of lockdown had already drained him, and the thought of another month without the office was unbearable. He missed the office atmosphere, the smell of strong coffee from the machine, the daily chatter, and Emily. Emily, his colleague, had just started warming up to him before the lockdown, but the pandemic had put everything on pause. One evening, bored out of his mind, Chris called his old friend. "Hey Mark, how is it going, man?" "Same as you. Going crazy stuck at home. This remote work thing is endless," Mark groaned. Chris chuckled. "So your office is still closed too? Thought working from home would be fun, but honestly, it's boring as hell. Oh, by the way, how is Kevin?" Mark replied. "He bolted as soon as the lockdown lifted. Went straight back to his hometown in the countryside. He's living it up out there, posting new photos of his beautiful village every day." "His hometown's way out in the sticks, right? Pretty remote?" Chris asked, sipping his coffee. "Yeah, nice place though. I went there with him last year. Real old-fashioned village, friendly people, beautiful scenery. Actually, he called yesterday, invited me down in about 10 days for their local festival." The moment Mark said this, Chris's eyes lit up. "Why wait 10 days? Let's surprise him. We can work from there. I am sick of these walls," Chris said. Mark hesitated, then grinned. "You know what? That's a solid idea. We'll leave tomorrow morning. But don't say a word to Kevin. No Facebook, no Instagram. Let's give him a proper shock." Chris was thrilled. For the first time in months, he had something to look forward to. The next morning, Chris rang Mark at 10 a.m. "Dude, where are you? We were supposed to leave at 9:30. Mark yawned on the other end. "Relax. I stayed up binging a Netflix series, slept at 2 a.m. I'm on my way. Give me 15 minutes. Half an hour later, Mark finally showed up. They loaded the car, cranked up the Back to the 90s playlist, and hit the road. Kevin's village was good 10 hours away. The drive was long and rough. Crack roads, winding forests, marshy stretches, but the scenery was stunning. Rolling fields, dense trees, and endless greenery on both sides. By evening, Mark was exhausted, so Chris took over driving. They stopped for a tea around 7:30 p.m. determined to keep going until dinner. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the once beautiful landscape turned shadowy and unsettling. They grabbed dinner at a shabby roadside diner, then turned onto the narrow road leading into Kevin's village. The road was pitch dark, eerily silent, and Kevin's place was still 40 minutes away. By midnight, they were drained. Finally, a weathered milestone came into view. Village, 2 miles. Relief washed over them. A little further on, a rusty tin sign appeared. Village, less than a mile to the right. Chris pulled over for a bathroom break. Peering ahead, he noticed something strange. No lights in the distance, just faint torch flames flickering. "Looks like this place doesn't even have electricity," he muttered. "Sure it does. Probably just a blackout," Mark replied. Back on the road, they soon heard drums. By torchlight, a wedding procession appeared blocking the way. Chris honked, but the crowd didn't move. "Mark, go tell them to make space." Mark stepped out and froze. Every house nearby was boarded up, dark and empty. It was as if the whole village had poured into this one parade. He asked a few people for Kevin's house, but no one answered. The drumming grew louder, pounding in his ears. Uneasy, he hurried back to the car. "These people are off. Let me call Kevin," Mark said, and he called Kevin. Kevin picked up quickly, but his tone changed the moment Mark mentioned they would arrived. You are in my village? Tonight? And where is Chris? Kevin's voice trembled. In the car. We are by the main square. Can you come here? Mark asked. No, Kevin barked. Listen to me carefully. Get in the car, both of you. Turn around. Drive straight out. In 2 miles you will see huts in the fields. I'll be there. And whatever you do, don't look back. The call cut off. Chris started the car. The headlights swept across waiting procession and their stomachs dropped. The crowd turned in unison facing them. Every face was hollow. Empty sockets where eyes should have been. Rotting skin, blood-soaked clothes. A stench of death filled the air. And then the groom appeared. He rode a horse that looked like it had been dragged straight from hell. Flesh charred, nostrils sweeping flames, hooves burning into the ground. The groom's face was nothing but bone, eyes glowing red from deep inside his skull. The horse reared and slammed its hooves onto the car's hood, shaking the vehicle violently. Reverse! Go, go, go! Mark screamed. Chris spun the wheel, tires screeching as they sped out of the village. Behind them, the eyeless mob chased, their inhuman wails echoing the night. At the crossroads, Chris turned right. Minutes later, they spotted the hut Kevin had described. He was waiting outside with a few villagers. Chris slammed the brakes, heart hammering in his chest. Kevin rushed over, pulling them out of the car. The flashlight beam revealed the hood, dented with massive hoof marks. What the hell was that? Chris shouted. Kevin's face was pale. I told you to come after 10 days. There is a reason. Every 5 years, the entire village leaves for a few nights. No one stays inside. The belief is that during these nights, the dead return. They roam freely, taking the form of wedding procession. We live in the huts outside the boundaries. Even the animals are brought here. Chris and Mark stared, speechless. Kevin continued, his voice heavy. What you saw tonight was a devil's wedding procession. Our elders warned about it. You two are lucky to be alive. The friends stood frozen, realizing they hadn't just come to surprise Kevin. They had stumbled into something far darker, a memory that would haunt them for the rest of their lives.